Welcome back, third commenter.
Okay, it looks like there should be 2 more episodes of this game,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I thought I was gonna have something insightful by the end of that sentence. It just didn't happen, like most of my sentences. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dalton's not a very philosophical person. He doesn't find anything profound in life, except for YouTube comments and subscribers. So if you want to make him feel validated and confident and good about himself, especially about that really horrible time in 7th grade that he had, you should just comment and subscribe and share. Sharing will make him feel so happy that he will cry once we get 100 subscribers. Dalton, you can cry on command, right?
The viewer could also just not feed the false confidence that is doing this show.
Valid.
So this guy is fucking creepy.
I don't like him. I can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
I'm doing creepy shit.
Are they about to show a wiener? Are we about to have to do some editing?
Oh, don't make me do any real edits. Oh my god.
Do you have any idea what happened here, sir?
Oh, shit. There you go, distracting me.
Our tags are gonna be 30 different ways of writing pissing.
I'm gonna look like I pissed myself.
Peeing.
Imagine if I have to meet anybody.
Urinating.
Water sports.
Pisses himself. Now that'd be a poor first impression.
Second drink.
You say?
Bear
I
Grylls.
have any idea what you're talking about, detective.
Saving the planet.
I got told there was trouble at my prison. And here I am.
Golden
What's
shower.
the math of the situation right
R. Kelly. Milk lemonade around the corner. Fudge is made.
Well, there's a motorcycle. Looks like
Alright, I'm done.
fares to deal with. I'll be going inside to see what's what. If I see your friends,
I don't. He
This
needs
guy
to
looks
wash
like
his
he
damn
hasn't.
hands.
He looks
And
like he
his
hasn't
left
slept
leg.
in a while.
Look, if you see them, don't let them go.
He needs to wash his hands so bad. It's bugging me.
We appreciate any assistance you can offer.
No.
call me Clement.
You come in.
I'm starting to get the sensation that every character has like fake mannequin hands.
Nice boy.
Yeah, really. He was gonna touch his pee hands,
Like,
and
they
then
all just awkwardly.
yeah, and then dude also just put pee on his inhaler. He's recycling. Look at him.
All right, let's type some nonsense.
Or maybe you should grow some balls.
Ooh.
Ouch. Big comment. Bad retort. How did you shoot his head off behind the shield?
Get good? I don't know. If I seem a little distracted, it's because I can feel water in my ear.
Is it pee?
Oh my god. Yep, shoulda saw that coming.
You probably
I showered
should.
immediately before this recording session, and I am now very aware that there is water in my ear.
I also showered before this, and my ears are dry.
And no other time.
No other time. I'm trying
We
to
haven't
save
recorded
water.
in a week. I haven't showered in a week. Wow, have I
Stretching
never
neck.
typed the word jewelry?
Oh,
It wasn't in my muscle memory.
Pretty for a new kid.
Psychotic.
I don't like that guy yelling at us.
Well, yeah, like, mind your business. Oh my god. I still have, like, no perception of what is happening in this game and story.
There's so much going on. Was
Is
that
there
a nod
so much
to,
going on, or is there nothing going on?
Was that supposed to be like a nod to Charlie, or not Charlie, the Unicorn Mountain? Because it was like candy and unicorn and nice. Man, talk about old school memes. If you can even call that a meme. Would you technically call that meme?
The word meme doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it doesn't.
When
And
the
neither
internet
does...
When the
like-
internet started using the word meme, it meant like a very specific format, and now it just really doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Do you remember when the Minions were a meme all the time?
I still send some of my friends minions frequently.
Like, ironically?
Yeah, like one of them recently had a birthday, so I sent them like a happy birthday gif that was a minion for no reason.
Oh my god. See, like, on Jake's birthday, one of our friends, we had like this running joke with that hot dog picture. That sounds really bad. We were just, I don't know, we just
For
had
some
one
reason,
day
I think
we were
he
talking about
really
hot
didn't
dogs.
like. I got the vibe that he really didn't like that ongoing joke, and I couldn't figure out why. Damn it, I feel like he.
I know you've typed that. That's a Slipknot song. Come on.
I had accidentally like bumped a letter that was in the other word, and then it wouldn't let me type it.
Oh.
Anyway, I feel like he really didn't appreciate the ongoing joke, but I think he like forgot the origin of it. Like he forgot the initial laughing about hot dogs, and then when we brought it up again, he was like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, because on his birthday,
And then my
I
wife
did
sent him a
some-
birthday card that had a beautiful illustration of a hot dog and some kind of joke in it. I don't remember, and he like reacted like he didn't get it.
Oh. See, on his birthday, I took that picture because the kid's like crying holding a hot dog. And I photoshopped a cake over it that said happy birthday. And put a party hat on everybody else in the picture. And then sent it to him. And I don't know if he laughed because it was during that big thing where everyone was wishing him happy birthday.
I
hope he laughed at it.
I think he legitimately immediately forgot that we spent a whole afternoon with him laughing about hot dog pictures.
It was so funny. Jake, if you're the third commenter,
Charming personality. Don't make me whoop your ass.
comment a hot dog emoji. Are you for real in?
Oh, I'm in. We are 8 chapters in out of 9. We are in at
Yeah.
this point.
What if we never released the last episode? just keep them guessing.
Have you ever just like straight up quit a game this far in?
More than I
Just-
care to admit.
Just got so close and then
Yeah, more than I
Yeah.
care to admit, because like I do that a lot with RPGs because I'm like, well, this game took me so long to beat it. I want to make sure I have everything before I, fight the final boss. And I end up not knowing where to go because everything is hard to find,
Okay.
I try to avoid walkthroughs as much as I can
Sure.
with certain things unless I'm absolutely stuck. And that's my biggest downfall is I grew up with my dad who when he played games, one of the first games I watched him play was Final Fantasy VIII, which
Okay.
is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, because I have that nostalgia factor to it.
Mhm.
And he clocked 130 plus hours into that game. Like, to the point where he found a couple of things that weren't actually in like the Prima strategy guide.
Yeah.
Nothing major or anything, but like we couldn't find, like, there was like a chocobo stone in a particular forest that they didn't talk about, and we found like other little items here and there that they didn't really talk about. And back then that was kind of like a bragging right sort of thing, and now it's whatever. But he did the exact same thing where he maxed out all of his characters to level 100. Actually, in fact, there's a really funny story about this game. Growing up, he got to the final disc, and when he tried to fight the final boss, he couldn't beat them. And then he finally, my mom bought him the walkthrough guide, and he didn't realize that all the summons that you get, isn't something that just happens in the story. You have to like get them. So he was only stuck with like the first 3 summons of the game.
Okay.
And which meant, because if you know anything about the game with the junctioning system, where you need to junction a summon to you, and then you can junction magic to strengthen your stats and stuff.
Sure.
He didn't do that and made it all the way to the end of the game and didn't understand why he couldn't beat the final boss.
He was just missing an entire gameplay mechanic.
Exactly. And because he only had three characters, and I think you get 6 in the game, 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you can only equip one. Well, like, you can equip multiple summons to one character, but if you only have 3, how can you spread them out? You know.
Sure.
And he got the guide and went back and maxed out everything and found everything in the game. And to this day, there's a lot of stuff that I remember just from heart from playing the game with him as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, okay, I know I need to go get this and this as well. Otherwise, it's going to be a pain in the butt. So I mean, like,
so speaking of strategy guides, can we talk about how weird it is that in 2021 there are still a handful of strategy guides made in a time where like every game gets updated and changed? Well, that, the ease of getting the information you need anyway, but also like every game is upgraded and updated and changed.
Yeah.
When you release it in a guide on paper, you're like setting it in stone for a game that is going to immediately be updated.
It depends on the game, though, because like if it would be absolutely pointless to have like a strategy guide for Fortnite. I don't know what's wrong with my sinuses.
I would assume there aren't any live service games doing it, and I don't know offhand what modern games are doing it, but I know that I've seen it for games that do get significant changes. I would have to look it up. I don't know offhand.
Yeah.
But
you know what else I kind of miss about games? The gaming booklet that you would get inside of your case. I used to be a big collector of like
that's a
physical
nostalgia
copies
factor and not a practicality factor.
Yeah, like it makes sense. It's impractical to do it because not a lot of people used it.
Well, not a lot of people used it, but also the point initially was to be able to provide you that information without having to put that information onto like a cart or a disc that had very limited space and usability.
That's a good point.
Right, so the point was like, oh, we're already like working magic fitting this stuff on like a Nintendo or Game Boy cartridge, and then we still did it for like PS1, PS2, but that was more so because like
it was sort of the norm.
Space wasn't as big of an issue, but it was the norm. And then in-game tutorials started getting better, so less people resorted to looking to the booklet at all.
Yeah.
And now there's just not really a good reason for it, other than missing it.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. It does make a lot of sense. But yeah, I don't know. Where was I going with the Final Fantasy thing? Oh, back to our original point of quitting games right at the end. I get that kind of from that game, I think. Because, like, I didn't really use the book. My dad would just help me when I was younger. And I'm like, well, I don't want to beat the game without having everything. And it's just something that kind of stuck with other games. In fact, when Final Fantasy VIII Remastered came out on the Switch, I'm at the end. I still have things I need to get done in the game, but I don't want to beat the game because of it. Like, almost all of my characters are at level 100. I don't want to beat the game or get close to beating the game until they're level 100 because that was just a thing we did.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about that game, it's kind of pointless to do that because the enemies scale with you. So,
gotcha.
Every 9 levels, they keep getting stronger. So I don't know. You know what I mean? And this is actually that version of the game on the Switch, the remaster, is actually the first time I'm actually like really playing the game on my own without my dad.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like my dad doesn't use social media or anything.
Sure.
And what I'll do is the old school way of doing things, like when I'm playing the game and I'm like remembering like a nostalgic moment, I'll take a photo on my phone of like my Switch and send it to him and be like, you remember this fight? And then he'll be like, what are you talking about? Because he doesn't remember. Like, so it's funny to me.
I had pre-ordered God of War Ascension on the PS3, and I like plowed my way through it on like the day of or the next day, like it was a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I got stuck during the like very last section. Like there's a massive gauntlet of enemies before the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
And at that gauntlet of enemies, the difficulty jumped up ridiculously high out of nowhere for like no reason.
Oh.
And so they had to like put out a statement that we are going to update this to make it easier because that game didn't let you change difficulties without starting over.
Right.
I was playing through it on, I assume, medium, never struggled anywhere into the game, and then got there and just couldn't do it. And I was like, I would bump down to easy if I could, but that's just not a feature in the game.
Right.
So they immediately put out an announcement that, okay, you're right, we screwed up here. We'll put out a patch to make it easier. And I gave them like a week to do it, and they just never did, and I went and traded it in.
In fact, shut up permanently.
Man, do you remember when trading in games was a big thing to do? Man, you just reminded me
Is that why we're all trying to save GameStop right now? So they can give us 50 cents a game?
Right.
Maybe a free Game Informer subscription?
Yeah. Man, that'd be sweet. Give us 1,000 points on our Power Up rewards card for giving them a pretty relevant console and 50 different games for it. But you reminded me when you were talking about that particular part of God of War, that God of War game. It reminded me of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, which is one of my favorite games.
Okay.
Did you play any of the Prince of Persia games, dude?
I have vague memories of playing one of the PS2 games for like one afternoon with a friend. I don't remember much.
Okay. Because there were 3 games around the PS2 era. I think the first game was like Super Nintendo or something, maybe Nintendo.
I believe regular NES.
Yeah. Which I tried and it's not my thing. But there was the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, which got the adaptation of the Disney movie. Then there was The Warrior Within, which is pretty cringy by today's standards. The Two Thrones was decent, which was the final like of that arc. And then they came out with this like weird cell shaded art version of the game, which I think is stupid, personally. It was just Prince of Persia. There were tons of spin-offs and stuff too, but there's a particular part in The Sands of Time where you're in an elevator, and it's like a 30-minute non-stop fight. and it is infuriating.
Calm down.
Yeah, all right, let's get back to this game here for a minute.
Yeah.
Son.
Anyways, Prince of Persia.
Oops. Time for your treatment, mother.
I forgot how gross this
What
game
is the
ended.
treatment? Oh god.
I can't believe Caesar is finally fucking dead. Hey, snap out of it. We've got to find Varla.
You who?
Oh, what's the dude's name from We're the Millers? He was in Little Hope.
One last thing. If you'd be so kind as
I don't know what either of those things are. I just remembered, though, that there is at least one House of the Dead movie. Which means we have to watch it for podcast reasons. And I wonder if it's based off of... I think this is House of the Dead 2. I don't actually know that. But I wonder if it happens to be based on this one. If it used any video game story elements at all, which I doubt.
I wouldn't hate playing The Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time on this show, by the way. Just saying.
If we get 3 comments...
And 2 subscribers.
What is happening?
I don't know. He introduced these guys as really awful people. Ow.
All right, let's do
Anyways,
this.
I was just trying to say, the white dude that's one of the main characters, I forget his name. He reminds me of the guy from We're the teenage boy from We're the Millers, and the main character from Little Hope from the Man of Medan series, or Medan, or whatever it is.
Okay.
Quick, shoot him.
This is kind of cool, making me like actively hide. Well, not me, but the character, I guess, making the
Yeah.
character like kind of actively hide from him.
This feels like this guy should be like in a knockoff Resident Evil game, which, I mean, this is kind of a knockoff Resident Evil game.
Oh shit. Yeah, I typoed there. It's like giving me weird acronyms, and I'm like, I'm not prepared to
I don't even
type
know
that.
I know that acronym.
It's like way more difficult than spelling words, because
You don't have anything to go off of.
yeah, when it's a word, the spelling's just in your mind. Like, I'm not...
Right.
Like, if it gives me a long word, I don't think about individual letters. You see it, your brain processes it, your fingers type
Right.
it back out, but you never actively think about the spelling.
Yeah.
When it's all acronyms, you have to think about each letter. Have you ever played the Arkham games? Just because that was one of the words there.
I was thinking about that. I beat the first 2. I didn't go to Arkham Knight, which is
Okay.
the 3rd one, I think.
Kind of. There was a game that was a prequel that was really the 3rd one. That was made by a different studio. Arkham Origins.
I have Arkham Asylum. What was the one after it?
City.
Arkham City. I think I have that one. I have a couple of them. I guess I didn't play those 2. It's been a while since it was when I got my PS3, but I bought it for like stupid cheap.
I feel like, unless I just didn't happen to play other games that influenced those games, I feel like those games, Arkham Asylum and City, they kind of defined the modern open world game as we know it.
Mm.
and I'm definitely going to go back to them. I don't know if you have any intention of doing it. It might just be a thing I do for me, and I'll bring it up on the podcast. But just throwing out there that that's definitely a thing I'm going to revisit if you have any plans to.
Why don't we revisit it on the show and then talk about it on the podcast too?
Oh, because it's 1,000,000 hours long. It's an open world game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't quite know how we would format open world games for the show.
Major presentation, Jailhouse Judgement, will resume after these messages.
Is this our title card after I did the boss fight?
Apparently.
All right. Well,
Ugh.
the inconsistency is gonna it's not gonna anything. It's just weird.
I wonder how much of my head is cut off because I leaned in.
A lot of it.
Like and subscribe, and my head will come back in the next episode.
And maybe in the next and final episode, we will talk about this game. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. Thanks for watching.
Have fun. Bye.